Morning, everybody. Seems only appropriate that in this time of pandemic, we would talk about a subject that is related, is part of epidemiology, since I feel like we're all getting to be more and more experts in the area of epidemiology and viruses and contagions and blocking pathways and shedding and all that kind of stuff. So, we're going to talk a little bit today about HIV and AIDS. Um, this is a kind of one of the bigger pandemics that we have dealt with, at least in my lifetime, probably not in your lifetime. So, I want to review with you just some basic educational facts because even today, 30, 40 years into the existence of this particular virus, we still have people who don't have a good understanding of what the virus is, what it does, how to prevent catching it, what to do if you do catch it. Gee, sounds familiar, doesn't it? Kind of what's going on today with people not willing to socially distance, etc., um, in relation to the COVID-19 virus. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm sorry, I'm still punching the wrong button. And that's not what you want to see. Here's what you want to see. So HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. It is a naturally occurring virus that appears to have jumped from animals to human beings uh, late in the 1970s, early in the 1980s. Um, we've had plenty of time to study the transmission of this um, particular epidemic, and so we have a lot of firm details. In fact, there's a patient number one identified for the Western Hemisphere. It was a flight attendant that flew from the Western Hemisphere to North Africa quite often. He apparently contracted the virus in North Africa, brought it to the Western Hemisphere, and initially the first 100 cases of diagnosed HIV in the Western Hemisphere had either primary contact, meaning one-on-one, or secondary contact, meaning that the person who had contact with a person who had one-on-one contact with patient number one. I think what that shows is with viruses, without proper precautions, just how quickly and how broadly they can be spread. So, HIV is a virus that is transmitted only by three ways. This is actually a virus that's a little harder to catch than, say, COVID-19, which you can catch from airborne particles that have been shed from somebody who has the virus or from surface contagions. HIV can only be transmitted through unprotected sex. We'll talk about what unprotected sex is in a little bit, or what protected sex is. Sorry, I misspoke. HIV can be transmitted from a mother to her child when she is carrying the child or when she is breastfeeding the child. And then the third category of transmission route is sharing unsterilized IV needles. This is the virus that develops into AIDS, which is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And no one has ever actually died of AIDS. What happens is that AIDS compromises your immune system, and then you die of what is known as an opportunistic disease because your immune system can't fight it off. So no one actually ever dies of AIDS. They'll die of Kaposi sarcoma, of a special pneumonia known as PCP. These are conditions that you and I might come into contact with any number of times. But because we have a healthy, robust immune system, we fight the condition off, we kill the disease. We might have a day or two where we feel a little tired, a little run down, a little rough, but other than that, no big deal. But when you don't have a healthy, robust immune system, those conditions can actually kill you. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now, and we'll come back and talk about some preventative measures so that you don't actually catch the disease or catch the